Shalom everybody, hope you're doing well. I just want to share a few words, a few thoughts on this day, Tisha B'Av, probably the hardest day of the entire year for the Jewish people on the Jewish calendar. And you know, we spend so much time talking about Jewish history, so many different events and moments in time for the Jewish people over the past few thousand years, and this day, Tisha B'Av, came up time and time again. The first time we mentioned it was the destruction of the first temple by the Babylonians in the year 586 BCE. The second time, the destruction of the second temple, once again on this same day, today, by the Romans in the year 70 CE. And after that, the Bar Kokhba revolt receives its final blow by the Romans once again in the year 135 CE, this day, ending the last fight of the Jews against the Romans. And onwards throughout time, the Jewish people, this day seems to be a magnet for hard times, for tragedy, for loss. What is it about this day? As we go on in Jewish history, we get to the Holocaust. Even before the Holocaust, World War I begins on this day. Today is the 100th anniversary of the beginning of World War I, which in and of itself was a tragedy for all of humankind, for all of the world, but specifically for the Jewish people, because it set into motion the terms that would eventually bring on the Second World War, and of course with it the Holocaust. During the Holocaust itself, in 1942, the Warsaw Ghetto begins to get liquidated, and 6,000 Jews a day over a period of 2 months will get sent from the Warsaw Ghetto to Treblinka, of course just to die. So this day is filled with hardships, so many things going on. But what's the root? What's it all about? I think we have to mention one thing we probably didn't mention in our class, in our learning, is that there's one event that preceded all of these events that took place on this day. The first one, the first Jewish tragedy, and that was the sin of the spies. In some classes we mentioned it, in some classes we didn't. But they're in the desert. They're in the desert. The Jewish people had left Egypt. They left in incredible fashion with all these miracles, walking out head held high, going from slaves to free people overnight. And as they're inching their way towards the promised land, towards the land of Israel, they start to wonder, they start to question, well, what is it going to be like? Who's living there? When we get there, what's going to happen? Of course, those are normal human questions and reactions, and their urge to know is very understandable. But the Jews send spies. They go to Moshe and say, we want to send spies to go into the land to tell us what is it going to be like, what is there, what are we going to encounter? And after 40 days of wandering around the land, searching through the land and spying on the land, the spies return back, and 10 out of 12 of them deliver a most horrible report to the Jewish people, saying it's going to be scary, the people there are big, they're powerful, the cities are strong, we're never going to be able to do it. Forget about it. We can't do it. And the entire nation screams out and cries out and says, what's going on here? Why did God lead us this way? Why do we think that we could enter into the land of Israel? Why do we think that that's our home? Why do we think that we could do this? And in that moment begins an almost 40-year period of wandering around the desert, something that was not supposed to be from the beginning, was not part of the original plan. But the Jews brought upon themselves because of their disbelief, their lack of belief, not only in God, not only in Moses, their leader, but in themselves and in their own ability to enter into the land, in their own disbelief that this place is really their home, that this land is their place in this world. And this original Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, is what sets into motion. It kind of creates itself as a magnet for Jewish tragedy for the next few thousand years, up until today. Right? And the root of it, I mean, it's a very complicated idea. I don't want to simplify or oversimplify Tisha B'Av. There's so many facets and so many things that we can say, but I want to just extract this one idea, this one point, to share that at the root, or one of the roots of this day, is our own disbelief in ourselves. Right? The whole world has been yelling at us for thousands of years, don't be, can't be, why should you even try to be a Jew? Something and someone different in the world. And miraculously, for thousands of years, we've had at least a critical mass of Jews in every single generation that have said, yes, no, we do believe, and we will believe, and we are here, and we will be Jews. Right? And this, for me, is one of the most important lessons of Tisha B'Av. right? To face not only the world, but to face ourselves, look at ourselves in the mirror. Say, I'm a Jew. I was born a Jew. I was born a Jew for a reason. The world, even though it doesn't recognize it maybe yet, the world needs me to be a Jew. Rabbi Shlomo Carlebach said over and over again that the world is really waiting for the Jews to be Jews. It might not look like that all the time, but underneath all the stories and all the politics and everything is really the fact that the Jews have a special place in this world. Not the only place, maybe not even the best place, but a special place in this world. And if we don't fulfill who we are supposed to be as a nation, as the Jewish nation, then the world is lacking. Right? And the Jews are able to best express themselves as a nation, as a collective, from a specific, special place in this world, of course, the land of Israel. Right? So we see, we've been living in this land, in the modern state of Israel, for almost 70 years now. Amazing miracles, amazing, as we call Mesirat Nefesh, self-sacrifice, and just giving of oneself over and over again throughout Israel's modern history. Stories of men and women giving of their entire lives for the Jewish people and for the nation. We learn many of those stories together. But what it all comes down to is our belief that we have a place in the world, and holding on to that place and not giving up and not giving in. Right? And this isn't about war cries and going out and battling other people in order to make sure we have a place. Of course, those things have become an unfortunate necessity and reality here for the Jewish people, because so many people are trying to take this little small piece of land away from us. And we show them time and time again that we are not going to give in, and we're not going to give up, and we're going to continue to fight, even though it's not our natural way, right, or natural desire. And of course, just the past few weeks to a month, right, soldiers giving everything, giving of themselves in every single way, not returning home for 3 to 4 weeks to fight this war, yet another war, brought upon us by our enemies. And you guys probably know that I visited literally the front lines, not inside Gaza, obviously, not inside Gaza, but mamash on the border. Once last week and just again yesterday into the night. And I spent time with these soldiers. I'm telling you guys, they break my heart. Seeing these young soldiers away from home, 20 years old, 19 years old, 21, 22, 23. Soldiers who are half my age, and I bow to them with such love and respect and honor. And to see them there for one reason, Am Yisrael Chai. The nation of Israel lives. And if there's any day of the entire year that we get, that we live, that we will live, that we need to live, it's this day, it's Tisha B'Av, because we recognize we take this one full day to think about all the times in our long history that nations and empires and people around the world have tried to take that away from us, take away this belief that Am Yisrael Chai, that we have a place, that we deserve a place, that we need a place in this world. And from that place, we're going to become a strong nation that will not only give to ourselves, but to the entire world. If they would only get it, that what we're here in the world to do is not only for us, but it's to benefit the entire world, all of humanity. If they only understood that. May they lay down their arms so we can lay down ours. But I just want to share one last final thought, that last night I had the honor, mamish the honor, to give up pizzas again to these soldiers who really get it. They really get that every single slice of pizza is another show of love and support from Jews around the world. Right? And when all the pizzas were done and the sun had already set and night had fallen, so it was time for Tisha B'Av to start. And I had the unbelievable honor on this army base along the Gaza border to sit with soldiers, our holy soldiers, sit with them on the ground, the dust of the earth of the land of Israel, and read the book of Lamentations, the book of Eicha. And I couldn't it was one of those moments where I was in the moment, I was in the experience, and also just like marveling at the experience. Hearing the words of Eicha, the words of the prophet Jeremiah written 2,600 years ago, and at the same time looking around this circle, this collective of soldiers of guys, and so in awe, so humbled, with so much gratitude and thanks to these guys for putting their lives literally on the line for the lives of all the Jewish people, not only the Jews here in Israel, as we've said so many times, but the Jews all around the world. Just so humbled to be able to start Tisha B'Av on an army base, right, with these soldiers on the ground, reading Eicha, Lamentations, the words that Jews have been reading for almost 3 millennia, and just so humbled and so grateful and so thankful to these soldiers, to Am Yisrael, to the Jews in Israel, and to the Jews around the world who were mamish been coming together for the past month. And we know that the destruction of the second temple took place because of sinat chinam. Remember that word? You might have missed it on the test, but please remember for the rest of your long, long, healthy lives. Sinat chinam. Hatred between Jews is what caused our destruction, and we're having this unbelievable opportunity to fix it by loving each other. No matter who you are, what you are, where you are. Jews loving Jews. Religious, non-religious, left, right, against this, for that, doesn't matter. I'm telling you, maybe you've seen it, sensed it. My students were here this summer, I think you did. Am Yisrael has come together in incredible ways over the past month, over the past few weeks. And we should learn finally to continue it, not only in times of struggle and conflict and war, but really to recognize, to have our eyes continue to be open wide, to see that unity that exists between us always, not only in times of war, but it's always there. Always there. So we should be blessed to keep our eyes wide open and strengthen that unity and strengthen that love between us and really bring the redemption for the Jewish people and again the entire world. I'm sending you guys so much love, so many blessings. Right? This is the day of tears, it's the day of mourning. But the goal is to take those tears of sadness, the weeping over our tragedies, over our suffering, over our oppression, and turn them into tears of celebration and joy. And as we know how to cry, we know how to celebrate. So we should take this incredible ability of the Jewish people to rebound, this incredible skill of ours of resilience, and rebound from 3,000 plus years of ups and downs, and just keep going higher and higher, stronger and stronger. Shine the light, spread the light in all the ways that we possibly can. And because in this day we're not really crying over the past so much as we're crying over the present, that the brokenness is still in the world, that we haven't yet reached completion, perfection, shalom, redemption. But again, with the events of the past few weeks and the way that the Jews are coming together, I have major hope in the Jewish people in our nation that we are going to get there one day. Please God, it should be soon. So I'm sending you guys so many blessings. If I can give you guys all a hug, air hug to all the girls out there, really from this day, from this place, Tisha B'Av, the land of Israel, the Jewish people. You guys are so holy. You guys are so holy. I want you to know that. And please, never be shy. Never be shy to be a Jew. Be so proud to be a Jew. And from the place of being a Jew, who you are, the fact that you are a Jew, from that place, be who you are essentially in this world and make this world a better place. So much love, guys, from the land of Israel. Many blessings, lots of love. Bye-bye.